Hello, everybody. My name's Jack. I'm the president of the Bands and Musicians Society at Edinburgh University. I'm a fourth year civil engineering student, but music is my main hobby, I would say. I listen to it, I write about it. Well, I've written about it a bit in the student newspaper. I only did like 2 articles though. That was fun.
Nice.
And also make a bit on the side, but I've never really done anything serious. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. We're going to be interviewing Nani. She is also a student at Edinburgh, and she releases music as Nani. And she has just released a new EP called Pure Frustration, which is really great, by the way. And everybody should listen to it, either before or after watching this. This will hopefully be the first interview in a series which we're thinking of calling Stirring the BAM Pot, which is supposed to be kind of funny. We'll see if that goes as the actual name. But anyway, in this interview, we'll probably be talking about you, the EP, music production, that sort of stuff. So let's start by asking, how are you today?
I'm good. I got up very late. I cleaned my room, so I felt like I've done something productive.
That's good.
That's been about it.
Nice. How has COVID been treating you in general?
Yeah, generally it's been fine recently. I don't know. Obviously, everybody was quite shocked when everything happened at first, and like it was stressful, very stressful.
Very.
And most of the time, like when it first happened, like in March, I kind of yeeted out of Scotland back home to Austria to my parents. So for quite a while, but I'm really glad to be back because I got back over summer and I really missed Edinburgh. So I'm just happy to like be back here in the city.
Cool. Yeah. I live in Edinburgh anyway, so like I never really go very far in summer. I get the bus home, and that's me for like a few months, and then I just get the bus back. But anyway, yeah. Have you picked up any new hobbies or anything? Any like?
Not really. I tried to do like dance tutorials on YouTube because I was really bored, and I had to isolate for 2 weeks because when I went back home at first. And then I was really bored. And I think I did like a video and I sent it to my friend and she was like, that looks terrible. And I was like, you know what? I've been bored. It's hard times. Leave me alone. But
yeah, trying to become like a TikTok sensation or something. Nice. Okay, so I guess it'd be good if we start with, if you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your music sort of journey so far, things like when, where, or like why did you start making music, where you're from, what you study. I guess that's a lot of questions to
I'll try and cover them all though.
Okay, just like an introduction.
Yeah. So what I study is music tech. So technically kind of connected to like doing music myself, but like what I do now is way more like programming, sound design kind of stuff. So not really recording. And if I record, it's weird noises that you then turn into other weird noises, which is sound design in a nutshell. But yeah, I started making music, like recording, when I was like 13, and my mum had GarageBand on her computer, and I thought, you know what, I can do this. And I'd always played a bit of piano. Like I started learning when I was like 5, but I was never. I was not good, but it was fun anyways. And then when I was like 12, I asked my parents if I could have guitar lessons, and then that just became my main instrument immediately. So yeah, I started writing songs around that time as well. But yeah, it was just good fun. I think the first thing I ever recorded was like, I think it was Katy Perry, Don't Want to Go Away, with like a little piano, like keyboard thing, and a really shitty drum beats and bad vocals, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. And then yeah, I was like in a band in high school, which was like a prog rock band, so quite different to what I'm doing now. But that was good fun, like playing heavy guitar riffs and stuff like that. And then yeah, during high school, started recording more and like putting stuff on SoundCloud a bit, but obviously never really taking it seriously because you're like, oh, it's just fun. And then came to Edinburgh after school, and I was like, you know what? If I'm not going to try now, I'll never try doing this seriously and like having it as more as just a hobby.
That
So
makes
in like
sense.
second year, I recorded an EP. The first year, actually, I recorded an EP, put that on SoundCloud, but like not a lot of people saw that. And then last year, 2019, yeah, I released an EP on Spotify and like all the other like streaming platforms for the first time, and that kind of got more attention, which was really nice. And then I was like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then yeah, since then I've just been constantly writing, producing, all of that. And then over summer, over lockdown, I had obviously a lot of time. I started recording this EP now. Actually, no, I started recording before then, but I finished it then. And then I was quite lucky because a mate of mine who I met through the student radio, he reached out and was like, "Hey, I always wanted to try out managing. Do you need help?" I was like, "Do I
Nice.
need help?" Yes, I need help. And so that's how that whole thing now of Pure Frustration kind of got started, and how
Cool.
we kind of got it to be a bit more professional than before.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It definitely is. It's like sounds very, like, I would say, put together. It also sounds very like sincere.
Yeah.
The songwriting, especially, I would say, is very strong. So
Cheers.
I commend you on that.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's just really. I like all the songs on it as well. My favorite is probably the title track, "Pure Frustration."
Yeah, I think that's my favorite as well, actually.
Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just a great listen through and through. I wondered if did you ever plan on making it like an album? Like, was it always EP length or?
Yeah, I think I always kind of aimed for EP because an album seems to, for me, like an album needs like a concept, and then I don't know, it doesn't need to have one, but I feel like an album is like this whole body of work, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
You need to really think that through. And I want to, like, if I put an album, I want it to be like this thing that like has a beginning and an end, and it's just this whole formed
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And with an EP, you can just be like, that goes on there, that goes on there. This, okay, cool, we're done.
Nice.
But I had a lot of songs, so it's like the max you can put on an EP is 6 tracks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think it was Kanye released a couple of albums like last year, which were literally 7 songs.
Yeah.
So you're like one away from the
Kanye.
threshold there. But at the same time, like, I would say the EP is really, it's quite conceptually strong as well. Like, it's cohesive from start to finish. Like, all the songs sound like they belong together. It's not like random as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a while for us to figure out the exact like track listing as well. But I knew like Pure Frustration needed to be the first one, and then I knew that A Tender Embrace from Pretenders was the last one because it just has that kind of finishing feel. And then anything in between was like, what am I doing with this? And then we kind of figured it out. But yeah, I think because also a lot of people are always like, oh, like what is your music? Like what kind of genre and stuff. And I find that quite hard because like these songs already sound quite different to each other, but also are connected in a way. But then I hate like settling on one thing because like I'm also writing songs that are like maybe a bit prog rock punk-y.
Okay, yeah.
And then like setting on that one thing, I was quite hard. Yeah, I almost put a song on there that's like I'm gonna put it out at one point, but it's like heavy guitar riffs, me trying to be a bit screamo, but
oh nice.
So we'll see.
That sounds exciting. Did you have like a lot of songs then that didn't make it onto this EP? Did you write like more, or was it just sort of these ones that you'd been working with from the start?
I actually, I had a couple more, and then I kicked 2 out for Sunshine and A Tender Embrace because I only wrote those 2 during the summer when we were like finishing it. But I was like, you know what? I like these 2 much better. I was like, never mind. Like took 2 out, and then one of them I'll definitely like put out as like a single at some point because it's
okay. That's cool.
It's quite fast, and I feel like it could work as a single. But yeah, there were a bunch of tracks that I've been working on. It's always like you've got so many ideas, and then always like I do like open a new Ableton project for like this new idea and stuff like that, and then I end up with like 50 different projects that I haven't opened or looked at in such a long time. Like, okay, I need to finish something.
Yeah. I think it was a good decision to include Sunshine and stuff on it because I think that's probably a second favorite for me. I was gonna ask, so you say you use Ableton then?
Yeah.
Would you say that your sort of songwriting process for this was linked with using Ableton, or do you like keeping writing separate to like producing and recording and stuff?
No, like I do both at the same time usually. It's
Okay.
very rare that I'll write something and it will be completely without anything attached to it, and then I go into recording. Like Sunshine was like the only one that I'd written completely, and then we went into production. Because usually I'll just be unable to maybe do like a little riff, and I'll be like, okay, this is cool. What can I do with this? And then work from there. I think quite often like lyrics and melody are actually like the last thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But usually, yeah, it goes like kind of like hand in hand at the same time, and then I'll suddenly have like an idea, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'll throw this in and see how that works. But yeah, mostly just doing everything at the same time, kind of.
Okay. Would you say you have like a go-to sort of instrument or something, or is it just like you open Ableton and then just like randomly press stuff until something sounds good?
Probably guitar still. Like
Okay.
writing songs, I'll still like get out and start playing chords and figure out the chord progression and then go from there. But then, yeah, I don't know. I like a good like synthesizer. Like there's like a really cool sound, and then I'll suddenly come up with this little riff. I'll be like, okay, so this is like the first thing I have now. Yeah, I think it's always like because I like just playing around with things and like coming up like just little bits here and there, and then one of those like it might even just be a drum beat or something like that, and that will start the whole progress. But usually, like for writing the song, it's guitar. I think, yeah,
Okay.
figuring out the chords and then the melody on top of that.
Yeah. There are some pretty good synth sounds on the record on the EP as well. It's quite cool. Would you say with your sound design stuff for your course, does that sort of feed into the synthy side, or is it sort of different?
I think it's different, especially for the synth stuff, because we don't really do that in
Okay.
classes. But the only thing that I learned to use more through my course was in second year we started like using samples and like sampling things. And
Okay.
Ableton got a really simple but brilliant sampler that I use quite a lot, such as chopping up vocals and using that for like in Pure Frustration, that little vocal bit that you've got at the beginning, like that's just sampling my voice, putting layers of effects on it, and then using that as well. So I got that from like the course a bit, but like synth and recording and stuff is not really what we do in class. Yeah.
Okay. What sort of stuff would you say you do in class, and does it at all affect your music?
Not really. I think currently, like, I've got a course that's called like audio crafting, and if you listen to the stuff we have to do for that, it's so different. It's like we had to record 50 different sounds and then attach them with words, and then from that make 3 sound designs that are attached to a different word and represent that word, which is
Okay.
it's a fun exercise. And I do like ambient music and like Brian Eno and stuff like that, right? So that's cool things, and that's like it's cool to do, but I think it doesn't really influence what I do with my music, but maybe like unintentionally sometimes, yeah. But like it's very different. It's a good exercise for like using different digital audio workstations and stuff like that, and
Right.
it does like kind of explore your skills a bit more, but it's very different.
Fair enough. Yeah. Was the whole EP done in Ableton, or since you're saying there's like I'm guessing you know a little bit of more than just Ableton. What sort of what sort of stuff were you using, I guess, is the question.
So I used to use from GarageBand. I went to Logic actually.
Okay.
So and then for the EP before Pure Frustration is when I started changing to Ableton, and I just started liking it way more because I just like the way it works and you have to chop up things. But Pure Frustration itself, actually, I started recording in Logic, like the bass, the guitar riff that you kind of get, and then also like the strings, that kind of left right ear kind of pattern. And then I was like, okay, I recorded this in here, but I do want to work in Ableton, so I like exported the sound files from Logic into Ableton, which then means that like you couldn't change a lot of the effects I'd already put on it, but I liked the sound so much that I was like, I don't want to just take the like clean audio for that. I want to take the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think my mixing engineer was like, oh. But but it kind of made sense for me, like because I was just like, you know what, I'm just so set on this very specific sound, but I do want to work in Ableton, so I just took the whole thing. And then the other tracks are all just Ableton. Yeah.
Okay. With sort of mixing engineers and stuff, so did you start this on your own and then bring it to people, or was there always other people involved here, or was it like what was it like working with other people, I guess?
Yeah. I always work on my own usually. Like I always used to, and I just really prefer that. I think I just find it hard to give off creative control to somebody else when it's like
Right.
my thing. But then yeah, once I started working with my friend Siggy as my manager,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Your production is great, and like it sounds good, but I think bringing in another person would really add to this." And I was quite wary of that. I was like, "Okay," but he's like, "No, this is my really good mate, like Joey. Shout out." He's like, "He's brilliant. You can talk to him. It will work out." So I was like, "Okay, we'll just try it with one track first." So I sent him like all the stems for "Fuck Me Gently with a Chainsaw," and great title, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he sent it back, and I was like, yeah, okay, because he just made it like way cleaner in a way. Like it just fits better when you listen to it. Like everything sits at the right position. The
Okay.
levels just work out better. They don't kind of overlap too much, and it's just more polished. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, I will tell you exactly what I want, and I will tell you if I hate it. And it doesn't mean I hate you, but
Yeah.
it needs to change. And he was like, yeah, perfect. He was like, don't like he was like, I hate it when people don't tell me what they need and just talk around things. And we were immediately like, okay, we'll just work on this. And it worked out brilliantly. Like, yeah, he mixed all of the tracks, and then we also got them mastered. Which mastering is still so weird to me.
Mastering is wizardry. It's
Yeah,
like,
you're like, what does it actually do? But then you do
yeah.
hear the difference, and you're like, I can hear it, but it's so little, but it makes perfect sense.
Okay. Did you like was it somebody you knew that you got to do mastering, or was that like outsourced?
That was outsourced. So Joey has mixed for other people before, and he was like, there's this guy called Pete Mayer in London who masters for unsigned artists for like a very good price. And he's an industry like professional. He's worked with like, again, Katy Perry, Rolling Stones, like a list of people.
Mm,
Like he barely ever meets those people anyways, because he's the kind of guy who gets sent the stuff, does it,
yeah.
sends it back, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we just sent him the tracks, and in like within a week or so, he had mastered them all. So very, very quickly and very well done.
Yeah, cool. Did you when you were working on this EP, did you do it sort of in a studio, or was it like in your bedroom, or was it a mixture?
Yeah, a mixture. Because so in at the uni we do have studios in the basement of the music department.
Mm-hmm.
But even if I go in there, like I'll bring my own little audio interface, and then I might borrow some of the microphones that they've got there, because they've got like very expensive
They have the
microphones.
big guns, I swear. Like
Yeah.
in the Reed, they have like I think it's one Steinway, but they have like really expensive stuff. It's
Mhm.
crazy. But I mean, it is Edinburgh University, so
Yeah, they've got in the Reed as well. They've got this one microphone by Neumann that's like, I think it's like 5 grand or something like that.
oof,
And you
oof.
get to touch that, and you're like, ah. Because
Oh,
but yeah, so I recorded a couple of things already before COVID started at
hmm.
uni, but it's kind of the same setup, but the rooms there are a bit more, acoustically sound than my room at home and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think people could maybe hear the cars and stuff going past outside my window, which is
Yeah.
sorry about that, but we've not had any ambulances yet, as far as I'm aware, which
Yeah,
is good.
that's a good
That's
thing. Usually you
lucky.
get like so many on South Coast.
Yeah.
um,
Um,
but yeah, so kind of studio, but then mostly everything I use is like microphone, guitar, bass, audio interface, maybe MIDI keyboard like the one on the back there, and then
mhm.
just bunch of plugins and software.
Okay.
Because
Do you swear by any plugins in particular, or is that secret sauce?
no secrets. Tao is like
Oh, nice.
is a fake Juno
Mhm.
basically synth that I think it was like 50 quid. Very good. Waves do very good vocal plugins and stuff like that, and they like do like kind of bundles that you can buy, which are always reduced. They're always like 80% off, and I'm like, it's been like that for a year, but sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for Black Friday, so we'll
Oh
see.
yeah, yeah,
I'm sure
nice.
there'll be some good deals.
And then Sound Toys, very good. They've got some really cool stuff. And then I still use many of the like standard Ableton ones that come with the software itself, because they absolutely sound like it. You don't need to get a very weird compressor that's like really spinny. Like the Ableton one does the
It's
trick.
good,
Yeah.
It is pretty powerful, I would say, Ableton in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to say something there. I've forgotten. Oh yeah, it was back onto like expensive microphones. I remember I worked fringe at Summer Hall. I think it was last year, 2 years ago, and BBC had like a little booth sort of thing there, and they had all their expensive gear. And I just remember like being like, oh my god, if I knocked anything over in here, I would like have to pay with my life.
Yeah.
They had like I think it was another Neumann thing, but it was like a head that had the ears were microphones.
Yeah. Oh,
it was really weird. It's for like ASMR or something.
Yeah. It's like
freaky.
supposed to be imitating like a human head, right? And then like how you hear it with your own ears. Like it's a very good mic, and like listening back to those recordings, because we've done that in class, is weird.
All right.
But yeah, sometimes you question sometimes a little bit if that equipment is really worth it.
Yeah.
You know, when they've got like this very special microphone, yeah, it's like 10 grand. And then you're like, but could you not also just do it with this 150 quid one?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I guess we could talk a bit about your inspirations then for the EP. In terms of maybe not just music, but well, music being one of the sides of it, but then like life and just think like, I guess the news, popular media, that sort of stuff. Are you the sort of person that gets inspired by other music, or would you say that you like get put off by other music when you listen to it?
Inspired, I think, yeah. I think because a lot of people are quite scared to let other people's music influence theirs, because they're like, I don't want to copy them. But it's not about copying, it's about, you know, being like, oh, this is cool, maybe I could try something similar. Or like this kind of sound in this song, like this one guitar in that track, I kind of like that. How can I maybe try that and put that in my own song, kind of like similarly? And I think that's absolutely fine, like trying, and because you look up to other people in different aspects in life anyways, right? And you learn from other people, and that's the same kind of thing. And I think, yeah, I made this playlist on Spotify with some songs that I think I was like, kind of had an influence. Let me have a look. Yeah, I was listening to a bunch of Clairo, The Cure a bit as well, Bon Iver, obviously.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Japanese House, big fan. A bit of Steve Lacy, Gus Dapperton, and King Princes. Like
nice.
those kind of, and I think, yeah, if I tell you that, you could probably go like, oh yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, I can definitely hear some of them. Another one that I would definitely have said that I heard was Beach House. You like Beach House?
Love Beach House.
Yeah, I think I get it's sort of dream pop vibes, I would say, from the EP itself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I really love Beach House a lot. So good one.
Yeah. What was there any inspiration behind the artwork for the EP, or was that sort of? Yeah, you want to talk about that a bit, I guess.
Yeah. So I didn't really think about artwork much, because I don't know. I kind of had maybe some visions for it, but I was like, oh, I don't really know. And then me and Siggy, we've got a friend in common, Eleanor, who graduated last year from uni, and she did intermedia design, if I'm not wrong. Sorry if I'm wrong, Eleanor. But she did ECA. So we were like, you know what, let's get her to do artwork. And then she was like, okay, anything you've got in mind? And I was like, no. I was like, go crazy, like do whatever you want. And then she was back home in Ireland, and she like, yeah, sent a couple of ideas, and then she sent the hand thing, and I was like, I really like the colors, and kind of like looking into the sky like that. And then both of them, like Siggy and Eleanor, I kind of left it to them a bit as well. I was like, I was like talking to her, I was like, here's what the EP is about, here's what I feel, go crazy. And then she came up with that idea and the colors and stuff, and I was like, brilliant.
Yeah, it's cool. I like a lot of the sort of the song covers and stuff from YouTube. They look really nice as well. Whose hand is that? That's the question that's been on our minds.
It's Eleanor's hand.
Okay.
She's got the famous hand.
Well, now we know.
You know, forever. It's out there now.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about future plans a bit as well. Is there anything that you've got planned in the immediate future, or that you want to tell us about, or I guess like music videos or anything that'd be really cool for this?
We've talked about music videos as well. I think we're going to do one with a bit more effort and see what we can do. We've been thinking a lot about which song it should be, because it's
Right.
hard to tell, because you're like, oh, this could be like this, but also this song, we could do this idea. So I think we're just kind of waiting a little bit longer just to see maybe also which one's the most popular, and then kind of take it from there. But we've like played around with a couple of ideas, and then yeah, Siggy has got loads of friends who do like video and stuff, and I was like, yeah, cool. I'm always like, you know what, come up with something and we can talk about it. If I like it, yeah, cool. Let's just do that. And then yeah, future plans in general, I think I'm definitely constantly still working on like new songs and stuff, and maybe try and, I don't know, reach out to labels a bit more, which would
Definitely.
be ideal. And then gigs obviously is hard at the moment,
Yeah.
actually, impossible. So we've been talking to a booker in Glasgow as well, for like the future at least. So hopefully next year we can play loads of gigs, because I only just like really started out playing my own shows this past year,
Hmm.
and then COVID hit, and I was like, oh great, excellent timing.
Yeah.
But I've done like an online gig during lockdown as well, and I think come December and like end of deadlines, because I'll probably just be hanging about in Edinburgh anyways, I might do another one with songs from the EP, which
That'd
could
be
be
cool.
fun. Yeah, I
I
think
would definitely watch it.
great. One watcher.
You'll have me there. I'll be like, woo.
Nice, yeah. Because it's strange anyways. Like I did the one at home, and it was just like a piano and guitar acoustic thing, and then you finish a track and you're like, next one. Like,
Yeah.
anyone there? Okay, never mind.
We hosted an open mic night with the society, which it was quite successful actually. I was quite happy with it. But it was weird when people like stop songs. You don't really know what to do. We were kind of just like messaging, like that was great, that sort of stuff, like
Yeah.
sending like clapping emojis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. So yeah, but yeah. The Kickstarter as well. That was something that was interesting to me. Is that it was seemed to be it was very successful. It was good.
Yeah.
Were you always planning on doing a Kickstarter, or was it like something you were like, oh my god, I think we need to do this towards the end, or like what was the thoughts there?
Yeah, so when I wanted to do the EP initially, I was like, I'm going to put it out in July. And then Siggy was like, how about we do this a bit more professionally? And I was like, okay. And like after that point came like the mixing and the mastering, all of that. And that costs money.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just pay it from my own pocket. And then we were also like, oh, we should definitely also pay Eleanor for artwork, because like that's time that she spent working on stuff, and like that's what she does. So you want to pay people for their work.
Yeah.
And then Siggy had the idea, why don't we like, get a fundraiser or something like that? And we were like, oh, but also I feel weird just asking my friends for money. So we were like, okay, let's ask them for money, but also give them stuff back. So we started like coming up with ideas. So we were like, if you give 10 quid or something like that, you get a CD and a digital download as well. So we kind of calculated how much money we would profit of it that we could invest into mixing, mastering, and artwork, and how much we would need to cover like all these goodies and rewards that we had. And people were extremely generous, especially shout out to my parents.
Nice.
So it really, yeah, it kind of blew up more than I thought, and I was like, great. And then we covered all the costs, and now we're still waiting on getting sent all the goodies and rewards that we've like offered to people ourselves, that we can finally send it out to the people who've ordered it, because they've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, that's cool though. It's good that your parents are supporting you as well.
Yeah.
Do they listen to your music? Are they like supportive in general?
Yeah, they do listen to. I think it's not really their kind of music, but the response has been, we're surprised, not like, oh, we're surprised, but like we're surprised at how good it sounds. And I was like, that's good. Better than you being like, oh.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my friends have been like, oh, what did I think about the lyrics? I was like, well, usually they don't really listen to it, but since I've kind of mentioned that my mum never listens to my lyrics. She's been more intensely listening to it, which I'm not sure I like.
Well, especially with a certain "Fuck Me Gently with a Chainsaw." I meant to ask about that actually. Like, what is that? Who says that at this in the song? Is this a quote
Yeah.
example?
Have you seen the movie Heathers?
No, I haven't actually.
80s film, very good
Oh,
film. And
okay.
one of the characters,
I'm out of the loop.
very like very close to the beginning of the film, says, "Oh well, fuck me gently with a chainsaw." And I heard that for the first time, and I was like, "That's a brilliant sentiment." I was like, I really love that.
Nice.
It's
I'm
like
stealing it. Yeah.
with a chainsaw. It's like,
It's also a good track as well, I have to say. I
Is
mean, as I said, they all are good tracks. It's a really, really great EP again.
thank you.
Yeah, I think that probably just about does it in terms of questions and stuff. I think this has been good. It's been really nice talking to you. Thanks for talking to me and the
For having
society.
me. Yeah.
Hopefully we can put this online in the near future, get like a YouTube channel or something sorted out. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, thanks very much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
yeah, anything else you want to say? I guess at the end, say hello to anybody. Any shout outs?
Stream Pure Frustration.
Yes, I agree.
Get
Definitely.
me that minimal Spotify money, please.
The 0.0038p or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, right, thanks very much. I'll say bye for just now.